Hello and welcome back to PharmCAST. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about Factor V Leiden complications. And our guest today is Sarah Connor. She's a 26-year-old female who presents to the ER with shortness of breath and pain in her right leg. Sarah's been under the care of her primary care physician and recently was placed on oral contraceptives. She has a history of familial hypercholesterolemia and asthma. Recent lab results confirm that she has a chromosome 19 LDL heterogeneity. Sarah has recently traveled overseas. Based on her history and presentation in the ER, Sarah's confirmed Factor V Leiden, blood clots in her lungs, and decreased blood flow to her leg. So how are you doing today, Sarah?
I'm doing okay, just very overwhelmed about all these things that my doctor told me. I mean, I've never even heard of Factor V Leiden. Like, what is it?
So it's a hereditary disorder where your Factor V Leiden is a mutated version of Factor V. It affects the person's ability to form and naturally remove blood clots. Individuals with this mutation have an increase in blood clot formation.
So this is why I'm having those clots that the doctor told me about?
Yeah, so essentially those blood clots are forming in certain parts of your bodies, the deep veins in your legs, which is known as deep vein thrombosis, and the clots in your lungs, also known as pulmonary embolism. So with this hereditary disorder, with some of the signs and symptoms for deep vein thrombosis is swelling and pain in the legs, and for pulmonary embolism, you tend to have a difficulty of breathing and faster than normal irregular heartbeat. And Sarah, I understand that you recently went on a trip overseas?
Yeah, that's correct.
So when you tend to be in the same spot over a period amount of time, you tend to have an increased risk in blood clot formation. And definitely females tend to have a higher risk, and as well as individuals who are taking oral contraceptives. And people who have these types of disorder, half of them don't even have any symptoms at all. So by the time that it comes down the line, it may sometimes be too late for some of these individuals. And I'm definitely glad that, you came today so we can definitely clear up any kind of misconceptions or, educate you definitely on, your disorder.
I really appreciate all the information that you shared with me today. Now, my next question is, how do I get treated for these blood clots, and how do I protect myself in the future from getting other ones?
So some of the treatment options that your physician is going to be talking to you about are some blood thinners, are also known as anticoagulants. Some of the options are heparin and low molecular weight heparin, such as enoxaparin, dalteparin. We also have warfarin and also some new oral blood thinners that are on the market, known as Pradaxa, Xarelto, and Eliquis. And these medications may differ from treatment duration, but they usually may last for up to 3 to 6 months. So your physician may also bring up some prophylactic options, which essentially means we want to prevent future blood clots as well. So we take some preventative measures and have you take some medications to prevent future episodes. Some options for over the counter are aspirin and a lot of the medications that I mentioned before as well. There's also some non-pharm options, such as keeping your weight in a healthy range, having physical activity in your daily life, and taking care of yourself, traveling long distances, as well as avoiding smoking as well.
Well, thank you so much for having me in your show today and providing me with all of that information. I definitely feel more comfortable moving forward and better treating my disorder.
And I'm glad so, Sarah. Thank you for having us on the show today. And now, before I let you all go, and to all those who are tuning in, I just want to go ahead and give some applications that may help people who are currently on warfarin. My Therapy app and My INR Plus are definitely some great apps that can help you use to track and manage your INR readings. And to those of you who don't know what INR is, it's a international normalized ratio. It's used to monitor individuals who are being treated with warfarin. A good INR for someone with Factor V Leiden taking warfarin is between 2 to 3. And if a person who has an INR of less than 2, they're at a higher chance of experiencing a blood clot. And if a person has an INR of greater than 3, they're at an increased risk of uncontrolled dangerous bleeding. You want to go ahead and make sure you stay in that sweet spot between 2 and 3 to ensure proper prophylactic care is being taken care of. All right, thank you all for tuning in. Next week, you can catch us on our episode talking about male enhancement and erectile dysfunction. Hope you guys are just as excited about it as we are. PharmCAST out.